we had completed up to this. So next is the octane rating of fuels. So it is related to the petroleum based fuels. Okay. So octane rating is given to the fuel so that you can judge how much anti-knock properties the fuel is having with the help of this. Okay. So to provide a standard measure of fuel's ability to resist knock, a scale has been devised. Okay. So every fuel, whichever is combustible, okay, similar to petrol, they have been rated with an octane number. Usually it is represented by the symbol capital ON. Okay. So the octane number determines whether a fuel will knock in a given engine, and if it knocks under what conditions. You can just make a review based on the octane rating of fuel. Okay. Now the next question is how this octane rating of fuels is defined. Okay. So by definition, normal heptane. Okay, there is a chemical called as normal heptane. So the chemical formula is NC7H16. Okay. It has an octane value of 0, so that it cannot be used as a fuel. It has maximum knocking parameter. Okay. So knocking we have discussed in previous class, reverse flame formation. It has maximum tendency. So it has been rated as 0. And the one more chemical, isooctane, okay, represented by the chemical formula C8H18, has the highest resistance to knock. Okay. So it will never knock, and whatever may be the operating conditions. So you use the highest compression ratio, you cannot find any knocking in the engine. So it has been rated with an octane rating of 100. Okay, you can see clearly here. So normal heptane. Okay, so normal heptane has been given an octane rating of 0 because it has the highest tendency to knock, whereas isooctane C8H18 has the very least tendency for knocking. It has been given as 100 octane rate. Okay. So blends of these two hydrocarbons define the knock resistance. For example, if the knock tendency of petrol is given as 80, that is octane rating of petrol is given as 80, okay, then we can assume that it acts similar to a mixture of 20% of N-heptane and 80% of iso. Similarly, if the knock rating of any fuel is given as 70, or say for example 90, then 10% heptane plus isooctane 90%. So mixture, however it behaves, in the similar fashion the fuel behaves. Okay. So a fuel's octane number determines by measuring what blend of these two hydrocarbons matches with that of the used fuel. So usually higher the octane rating, better will be the anti-knock characteristics. You can definitely use the fuel as one of the best fuels in the engine. So usually 80 to 85 is a very good, excellent knocking. You cannot get any fuels with 100 octane rating because there will be other disadvantages. Whenever you try to optimize one parameter to the highest extent, okay, the disadvantages in the other views will be more. Okay. So this is called as octane rating. So petroleum based fuels with similar tendency of petrol, okay, octane rating will be given. So properties, if it matches diesel, C10 scale will be given. Two more chemicals are there related to diesel. So one of that we will be discussing in the upcoming. Please make a note of it. In some of the question papers, you can find this for 8 to 10 marks, write a note on octane rating of petrol and similar other fuels. Then you have to remember these chemical names and detailedly explain with one or two examples. Please take down. Okay, so I will move on to the next. How do you prevent knock in SI engines, that is petrol engines? So what would be the parameters that should be taken care to prevent the knocking? One is you have to decrease the compression ratio. To what extent will be the next question, depends on which fuel you are using, what is the mixture. and what would be the expected. If you reduce the compression ratio by too much, okay, efficiency of the engine will also come down. It should be an optimized one. Decrease the mass of charge, the amount of fuel air mixture given into the cylinder. If there is any knocking found in the engine, the mass of the charge will be reduced. Okay. Decrease the inlet temperature of the charge. So inlet temperature, usually it should be almost nearer to the atmospheric temperature. It should be maintained, okay, in that range in order to reduce the knocking tendency. You have to provide coolant to the cylinder. This will be definitely there in almost all automobiles. Okay. Next, spark retardation can be done. Yesterday, in the last class, we have seen a sketch. Okay, 28 degrees before top dead center, 26, 24, like that. Okay. So if you retard it, delay the spark, okay, there will be chances of reduction in knock. Okay. So using very rich air fuel mixture. Okay, only up to 10% fuel, 90% air in the mixture. What happens is immediate combustion takes place. So the tendency of reverse flame formation will be lesser. So knocking will be avoided. You can increase the turbulence inside the cylinder. Okay, so that air fuel mixture will completely mix properly. Okay, and the combustion will be complete. Reverse flame formation chances will be very less. Increasing the engine speed. At higher speeds, reduction will be there in knock. And reducing the distance of flame travel. How do you reduce the distance of flame travel? The cylinder should be as compact as possible. You cannot use a huge cylinder to provide more amount of power. So as the cylinder dimension increases, knocking tendency also increases. These are some of the parameters. You can take it in both the ways. These parameters should be considered for reducing the knock, or what are the parameters affecting the knock. Then you can list these properties: compression ratio, mass of charge, temperature, cylinder in providing cooling, spark retardation. These points only you can list and explain. So these are some of the parameters that will affect the knock in petrol engines. Please make a note of it. These topics are all interrelated. Okay, if you have not attended last class, there will be no continuity. All this we have discussed in the last class in detail. Okay. Make a note of it. So these are very important points. At least, okay, out of this 9 to 10 points, 5 to 6 points you should be able to list down and give a brief explanation. Okay, so moving to the next. So far we have discussed the combustion in petrol engines in detail, that is SI engines. So the next is combustion in CI, that is compression ignition engine or diesel engines. Please take down a neat sketch. Okay, as we discussed earlier, here these angles are also very important. 19 degrees before top dead center. So this is the top dead center. 19 degrees before the top dead center, you have to draw a set of dotted lines. Okay, somewhere 16 or 15 degrees before the top dead, one more. 10 degrees before the top dead center, you can see one more, and 5 degrees before the top dead center, one, and 20 degrees after this. So this region is called as ATDC. This is BTDC. Okay, so roughly 20 degrees before, you have to draw one dotted line. So this is phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, and phase 4. Okay, ignition delay is 1. 2 is period of rapid combustion, 3 is period of controlled combustion, and 4 is the after combustion mode. So these 4 modes are there, right? So please take down a very neat sketch. So these angles should also match. Usually the peak pressure reached will be 80 bar in a diesel engine. Again, it depends. If you increase the compression ratio, it may go up marginally, right? So these values you have to little bit reproduce in a proper way. You have to remember this. take down a very neat sketch. If you can draw the sketch neatly, then there itself we can understand what actually is happening. Based on the pressure variation, we can just describe what process is happening there. Is it done? Gagan, Akshay, Varun, Sagar, Sumit.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So there are four phases here, as I discussed with you. First is the ignition delay. Second is the rapid or uncontrolled combustion. Third is the controlled combustion. And fourth is the afterburning phase, right? So first we will start with the first phase, ignition delay. Okay, what happens at point 1 actually? Okay, the start of injection of the fuel occurs, right? You just take the example of a diesel engine. So how actually it works? Okay, first I will take up a rough sketch. So this we will assume it as a piston. Okay, so there will be a inlet valve, outlet valve, okay, and a fuel injector will be there. So what happens initially, air will be taken in. So when the piston moves the down, when the piston moves towards the bottom side through the inlet valve, okay, air will be sucked in. So initially there will be only air particles. Okay, here. Okay, then the air will be completely compressed to higher pressures. Okay, this is what happens in the first cycle. So the air will be completely compressed. So at this point of time, that is 19 degrees before the top dead center, you can see there will be a start of injection. What do you mean by start of injection? Okay, the fuel will be injected with the help of a injector into the cylinder. Okay, so what happens? There will be high temperature inside the cylinder, high temperature and high pressure. Okay, but still the fuel will not catch fire at the moment of injecting it. Even though the fuel is injected here, the combustion starts at this point. You can see it is clearly mentioned here. So 19 degrees before top dead center, there is start of injection, whereas somewhere roughly 15 degrees before top dead center, there is start of combustion. As per this graph, you can clearly see. Okay, so there is a delay between this. So this is called as the ignition delay. Even though the fuel and air are in contact at this point, fuel will not catch the fire. Okay, it will take some amount of time, okay, to catch the fire and start burning. The gap between two is called as the ignition delay. Okay. In diesel engines, this ignition delay is divided into two parts. One is the physical delay, second is the chemical delay. What do you mean by physical delay? The moment you load the fuel into the cylinder, it will take some time, okay, some milliseconds for the fuel to go and mix with the air. It has to reach the different parts of the cylinder. So 2 to 3 degrees. So this is almost divided into two halves. In the first half, the whatever 2 or 3 degrees movement of piston is there, the fuel will circulate throughout the cylinder. It is called as the physical delay. In the second, what happens, there should be certain chemical reactions taking place between the fuel and the air, so that the fuel will attain the temperature so that it can automatically catch fire and start burning. Okay, so that there will be certain chemical reactions taking place, okay, for the combustions to start. So the second half is that set of chemical reactions. It is called as the chemical delay. Okay, so totally physical delay plus chemical delay put together, we call it as the ignition delay. So in general, at point A, I can call it as point A, we will start to inject the fuel. At point B, fuel will start burning. So A to B is called as the ignition delay. Now at B, the fuel catches fire. Okay, what happens once the fuel catches fire? There will be a rapid rise in the pressure in the cylinder. You can just see within a 5 degrees of angle, that is in the region 2. Okay, at the start of region 2, the pressure is somewhere 50 bar. At the end, it is somewhere around 80 bar. Okay, rapid rise in pressure is there. Why this rapid rise in pressure will be there? Because you are starting to inject the fuel here. Okay, almost 5 to 6 degrees gap, you are keep on injecting the fuel, but fuel has not caught fire. Once it catches the fire, whatever accumulated fuel is there here, entire fuel molecules will catch fire and start giving out the energy. So there will be a rapid increase in pressure. At some point of time, the pressure reaches peak. Okay, then it starts decreasing. From point B to the peak pressure point, say I will call it as C, BC is called as period of rapid or uncontrolled combustion. Okay, so this is called as rapid or uncontrolled because all the accumulated fuel molecules will catch fire at once and starts burning. Okay, now from point C, what happens? Okay, once at point C, okay, you will stop injecting the fuel, but the combustion will not cease. It will not end. The left out fuel molecules in the air fuel mixture keeps on burning for some time. Okay, so usually in the diesel engine, we can say up to 80 degrees after the top dead center. So this is the top dead center. Up to 80 degrees after the top dead center, the left out molecules keep on catching the fire and it releases a small amount of energy. So C to D, this is called as the afterburning phase. Okay, C to D, we call it as the afterburning. Okay, so this afterburning, there is a division again. So up to somewhere here, okay, period of controlled combustion, we call it as rapid energy will be released. From this to this point, only small amount of energy will be released so that it is a complete afterburning phase. Somewhere when the graph reaches this point, the outlet valve will be open and all the exhaust gas will move. So this is the combustion mechanism in a diesel engine. This is how a diesel engine combustion mechanics work. Okay. So how to draw this graph for a given engine? A simple question. Okay, how to draw? The simple way is first the injection timing will be prefixed. At what angle the fuel should be injected. Okay. So that timing will be prefixed. So we draw one dotted line at that timing. So 19 degrees, for example, whatever example I have taken here, it is 19 degrees. Then you will draw the motoring curve. I explained in the last class what actually is a motoring curve. Without supply of fuel, you will be hand cranking, then the pressure variation will be noted. Okay, the moment when this pressure curve deviates from the motoring curve, we will mark it as point B. Okay, the point of peak pressure, we mark it as C. Again, one more dotted line there. Okay. Somewhere pressure rise becomes steeply down. Okay, at that point, we mark it as D. somewhere at 80 degrees, I mark it as E. So these 5 points based on pressure and angle we mark, then we draw dotted lines and join all the curves. We get a P theta diagram. This is called as P theta, pressure versus crank angle, P theta diagram of an diesel engine. Okay, so so this mechanism we have in our lab, and also computerized mechanism also we have, manual as well as computerized, both is there in the lab. You can just get a next semester when you come to the laboratory in 7th semester, you can just take a part of project. If you take it as biofuel, okay, you can run any fuel sample and get the P theta diagram for that. You can vary this angle timing from 19 to 18, 17. What happens to this curve you can study. It's really very interesting. Okay, so if you know this concept, it will be very simple. So just usually it will be a 10 marks question. If you draw this graph correctly, maximum marks you will be getting. So that these angles are very important. So just there is a brief description over here. You can clearly see. Okay, make a note of it. These 4 phases you have to explain. The graph plus these 4 phases will carry 10 marks. I'll give you 2 minutes time. Please make a note of it. Are you understanding? Any doubts in this, Gagan?
Yes, sir. Understand.
See, always only one student will respond. Varun, what about others? Gagan, Akshay, Mateen Ahmad, Sagar, Sumit.
Yes, sir. Taking notes, sir.
Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Good. So I'll give you 2 minutes time. Please make a note of it. See, you have to practice this. Okay, immediately practice, try 2-3 times, then try to understand. At the time of exam, if you just open this, you will never understand. Okay. So next is the diesel knock. We have discussed about the petrol knock in the last class. Now, what actually is the diesel knock and how it happens? What are the reasons that are causing the diesel knock? Okay. So this sketch you can take down clearly. Okay. See, if you have understood that combustion curve, easily you can understand this. Okay. So the same combustion curve is drawn here, P theta diagram. Okay, this is point A in the diagram, start of injection. This is point B, start of combustion, whatever we discussed. This is the peak pressure point, and this is the top at 0 degrees, TDC. Okay, so the same curve I have taken. Okay, so this is the process of normal combustion without any knocking or disturbance. Okay, So I have drawn one more sketch here for better understanding. So this is the point A, start of combustion. Point B, start of injection is point A, start of combustion. The gap between those two is called as delay period, right? So the peak pressure point wherever it reaches, that is the end of injection. So same is shown here. Okay, so this is the whatever black color you can see. This is the fuel injected during the delay period. Okay, whenever there is no combustion, extra fuel that is injected. So this will catch fire during the region B to C. Okay, so if you increase this B to C, A to B, whatever is there, ignition delay, the chances of knock will be more. If you ask why, more fuel will be accumulated here, so that this rate of pressure rise will be rapid, right? So the same concept, if ignition delay is quite larger and actual burning is delayed, then accumulation of fuel is high. Okay, so when the actual burning takes place, what happens? Okay, knocking begins. By the time the actual combustion takes place, the reverse flame would have been formed. If you have understood this concept clearly, whatever we discussed in the previous class, the same point happens here. If you increase the delay, more quantity of fuel will be accumulated here. By the time this fuel catches fire somewhere nearer to the injection point, one more set of droplets will catch the fire at the opposite direction. Okay, one of the flame will be framed and it will be moving in the forward direction, whereas one more frame in the reverse direction also it will be formed, because the lag is more amount of fuel is injected, right? So what happens at some point of time, both these whatever flames are there, they collide and it causes certain pinging noise. There will be vibration in the engine. So this is called as knocking. Okay, when you reduce the knock, what happens? Okay, there will be no question of reverse flame formed. Whatever fuel particles you are injecting, okay, that will catch fire and start burning. Okay, so that the knock will be reduced. The same concept is also true here in this case. When you increase the lag between the start of injection and start of combustion, more amount of fuel will be accumulated, so that there will be every chance of reverse flame being formed, right? So please take down this. Okay, so whatever we discussed in the case of petrol, same concept also holds good here. Okay, so this is called as the diesel knock. What are the factors leading to diesel knocks? What factors are to be considered? Factors that lead to diesel are, one is low compression ratio. When you keep the compression ratio lower, the temperature and pressure built in the chamber, will be very less. So what happens? It will take more amount of time to fuel to catch the fire, to reach the self-ignition temperature. By that time, there is every chance that an opposite flame will be formed. Okay, so this is the first parameter. Next, low combustion pressure. Maybe because of the worn out liners, pistons, etc., rings or valves, if there are some leakage, pressure inside the chamber, if it reduces, it will take more amount of time for the fuel air mixture to catch the fire. In such cases also, there is an every probability of knocking being happening. Inadequate optimization of spray. What do you mean by automation of spray? What do you mean by automation? Okay, so the nozzle diameter will be in terms of microns. When the fuel is pumped forcibly, it has to form very minute droplets so that the droplets can mix with the air very easily and catch fire. If this doesn't happen, maybe because of the blocked nozzles, or if the injector tip is worn out due to some reasons, overheating or so, okay, what happens? This droplet size increases so that if the droplet becomes bigger, okay, it will be difficult for the droplet to catch fire by mixing with oxygen. In such cases, it will take long time for the bigger droplets to catch fire. By the time, okay, the droplets reaching the other end of cylinder will catch fire and reverse flame. And over advanced injection, instead of 19 degrees before the top dead center, if you give it advanced, that is 23 degrees before or 27 degrees before, definitely efficiency might increase, but there will be every chance of knocking up. So these are the four factors that has to be kept in mind, okay, before setting the optimum parameters in an engine. Please make a note of it. You have to explain these parameters on your own. If you know the combustion diagram properly, this can be easily explained. So these are the factors that leads to knock. Okay. Next, comparison of diesel knock and detonation. Okay, petrol and diesel you can just compare with the same P theta diagram. Earlier we have studied two P theta diagrams. One is for petrol and one is for diesel. The trends are similar. The curve nature is similar, but the pressures achieved will be lesser. Obviously, correct? So in petrol engine, what actually happens? Okay, you will be sending the carbureted mixture, mixed air fuel, okay, into the engine. So higher compression ratios may not be required. And you will be giving a spark inside the cylinder so that fuel can catch a fire easily. But in a diesel engine, what happens? Okay, the diesel, whatever you are supplying, should catch fire on its own. You are not giving any spark over there. Okay, because of reaching of self ignition temperature, SIT, it has to catch fuel on its own. I mean, fire on its own. So that higher pressure should be